Hi, I'm Dr. Joan Nelson, and on this channel I talk a lot about the research that I've done, which focuses on working parents and in particular working mums. And the whole crux of it is that the current construct of work, 9 to 5, which doesn't align with the school schedule, is really problematic, and it's causing problems for working parents, and it's also causing problems for organisations. So one of the things I've talked about on a recent one of these is this idea that some organisations want to improve the representation of women at the highest levels. But when I talk to these organisations, sometimes they talk to me about the fact that, we can't get enough women to apply for these roles. And so we think the issue is women. Women are lacking ambition, or, they don't have the desire to go to these highest roles. But one of the things and I've talked about this before, but I've got a different tangent for this one, is this idea that firstly, women are not lacking ambition. They're really ambitious and they do want to go far. But what a lot of women understand is that ambition sometimes comes at a price, which doesn't always happen for men. So I've had, and I hate using this analogy of referring to women as horses, but just go with me. So I've had a few guys say to me, we're really happy to promote women, we'd love to promote more women, we've even asked women to apply for these jobs, but they just won't take the jobs or they won't apply. And so they've used the analogy to me. They say, it's like, you lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. What can we do? We tell the woman about this job, we'd happily give it to her if she would apply, but, we can't. So, can't force a horse to drink water once you've led it there. But I want to unpack that a little bit more around this idea of the horse to water analogy. So what I believe is that it's not a case of the horse is stupid and won't drink the water. It's that this horse is actually really intelligent. And this horse knows that if it drinks this water, actually there's going to be a cost for it. So if the horse drinks this water, sure, they'll get the promotion, but it's going to come at a price. And what it might be, for example, if we think of poisonous water, maybe they'll get a tummy ache, maybe it'll cause them a headache, maybe it'll cause them some other difficulty for them. And so that's why some of these women don't apply for these jobs or turn them down if they get offered them, is because they know that if they do them, well, that's great, but actually there's a cost to them. And sometimes that cost is that they don't get to see their family as much as I'd like to. Sometimes the cost is around the fact that there's a lot of research around that proves and demonstrates that a lot of women in organisations feel that you've got to be twice as good to be considered half as good. And I say feel, it's not that women just feel this way and it's all in their head. It's not. There's a lot of evidence out there to show that it's true. Women do have to often work a lot harder to be considered as good as men. And so it's a similar case where they think, well, do I really want to take this promotion? Because if I do, I'm going to have to work so much harder. And do I actually want that? Likewise, I mentioned the example with, do they actually want to do this role, which may mean they have to work a lot of extra hours, and that means they won't get to spend as much time with their family as they would like. And we still live in this society, unfortunately, where mothers are expected to do more of the child-related tasks than fathers are. And that in itself is a problem, right? We need to get to the point where actually it's even. Both parents usually work, and therefore both parents should have an equal role in the parenting side of the house. So I just wanted to explain that analogy today. So it's not about women not having ambition or not wanting the promotion. It's that taking that promotion actually comes at a cost. And that's why some of them don't apply for the role. So in that case, organisations who know that it's really good to have better representation of women at the highest levels, and they want to do better in that regard, it's not about fixing the woman, it's not about trying to correct her ambitions or correct her confidence or whatever. It's actually about looking at what are the structural barriers inside our organisation that are meaning that there's a cost for these women of taking these jobs, and how do we then remove these barriers? And what I always find really exciting is that removing these barriers to improve the advancement of women, hands down, will make things better for men as well. Thanks very much.